What can $99 do to this Focus RS to make it faster, more fun to drive? Because that's what we're after when we own cars like this. That's what we're here to find out today. Welcome back to the Karma Speed Garage. I'm glad you're here. Let's head inside, get some coffee, and talk about what we're about to go over and read some interesting things. Rocket fuel. What's needed? You're gonna need a Focus ST, a Fiesta ST, Focus RS, or even a Raptor. Once you purchase this calibration, you're gonna need a Cobb Accessport. These are not cheap, as you know, but they're 100% necessary for many reasons. I was able to pick up one used from a guy named Max who owns a business around the EcoBoost platform, specifically the Focus. It's called RST Speed House. You can search what's on the screen right now and find Max and his business in New Hampshire. I actually bought this from him and he shipped it to me. I saved a couple $100. It's used. It's a little bit scratched because it's been used by someone else for a couple years, but I'm gonna use it, install a couple tunes on my car over the next couple months, throw it in a glove box, and I'll never look at it again. So great way to save some money. So if you want to do the same thing, make sure you hit him up. Cobb Accessport, purchase the calibration from Mountune. Let's go over what you get with the product. Renew and maximize the performance of your Focus RS, Focus ST, and Fiesta ST, and Raptor now. The Mountune optimized Accessport calibration is built to your specifications based on your vehicle type modifications and octane. Mountune optimized calibrations go beyond the standard OTS files, which is off-the-shelf files which come on the Accessport from Cobb, included with the Accessport and do not require any data logging. Please note, this offer is not a custom tuning service and is not available for turbocharger upgrades, engine swaps, high pressure fuel pumps, non-factory injectors, high flow / downpipes, nitrous oxide, and other specialty fuel applications. This service is non-transferable and other restrictions may apply. So what is this? Let's read the reviews first. Michael, Arizona, March 21st, 2022. Well worth it. I have used other tunes from Cobb and Stratified and neither hold a candle to this one. Installing this made the car feel completely different in a hell yes kind of way. This is how the car should have been from factory. For the price, I think it's the best purchase I have made so far. That's a bold claim. Michael, my neighbor in Arizona somewhere. Gene Mark, Canada, calibration Focus RS. Car feels much faster. Definitely worth the money. Mike, Oakland, California, May of last year. Worth it. Car pulls hard now. I have a 2018 Focus ST with a Flowmaster intake, catback exhaust, and go fast bits, DVX, blah, blah, blah. I've noticed the average MPG on the stock tune was about 22. Now I'm sitting at an average of 25.3. Thanks, Mountune. Really made the car wake up, he said. Formal RS. I didn't know I needed this, but I absolutely love it. Ha 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 ha. I like it. January this year. Optimized Accessport calibration. Awesome product. Ran a Cobb Stage 1 tune for a long time, but this one definitely smoothed out the acceleration and idle. Worth the money. Maybe one day get a custom tune, but for now, loving the tune. This is a draggy device. Connects to your phone, Bluetooth. If you've never used one in your sports car, I have a link in the description. You can buy one on Amazon. They're super cool. This is how we're gonna measure our 0 to 60 times and figure out if today's gonna get any faster for the Focus RS. So you're gonna wanna make sure you stick around till the end to find out if the draggy will tell us, did we gain power? Because that's not necessarily what today's about. Today's about one thing, drivability. At this price point and the way this works with no data logging, you're not gonna make more power. It's more about drivability, which I wanna fill you more in on because it's super important and it will make you much more wise when you're talking about cars, and you'll start to notice it. When I started hanging around experts in the automotive field, this was a very talked about subject that I didn't talk about with my car friends outside of the industry until I was in it. Let's go for a drive. Sport mode engaged, traction control off. There's not too much to say about the stock tune until we feel like what the Mountune calibration feels like, but there are some things I want to make you aware of that I feel strongly about as we roll through the gears. In second gear right there, when you get on 100% throttle, it goes whoop, and then it goes whoop, and then it just like builds boost at the snap of a finger. It doesn't slowly bring it on, and it doesn't bring it on instantaneously, and it's even more dramatic in third gear. Let me get to a red light up here. But when you really get into the meat of the power band, it pulls and it's smooth, but getting into that power band is not always smooth. And I think that's really strange. And every time after I've gotten a car tuned by a professional or had someone give me some sort of tune file, it's always a lot better. First gear, pretty smooth. just depends on the situation. I feel like it's when you're going at a rate of speed and then you want to get into it. If you just let the car know, hey, I'm about to roll through the gears and really get on it, it's smoother, but there's inconsistencies that drive me crazy and that make me the most excited about this. I have my draggy device. It's 0 to 60 time. Let's see what it puts down stock. Never have done launch control in this car. I don't like how deep in the menus it is. Okay. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? 5.16 seconds. I remember the Bronco was like 7. Gosh, that is a really high up in the revs. That was like 5,500 or something. I didn't even pay attention. I was like, it grips though, that's for sure. .94. I'll take it. Editor Justin can pull up the proof with this screenshot. 251 feet, 4.94 seconds. OBD cable that comes with the Accessport. Roll the windows down, put the car into accessory mode. I have the Accessport and plugging in. When you purchase it from Mountune, the calibration, they send you an email, you pop the faceplate off of your Accessport, you send them the serial number, they verify it, and then the calibration is in line with that serial number. It'll only work with that serial number, so you can't share it. Install, turn my AC off, anything conserving battery, I'm gonna shut it off. I do for sure have a good battery in this car, so I'm not worried about it. If you're questioning, you should plug it in. Install, confirm. Cameron Alford 2016 Focus RS. If you hold down on it, it will give you even more details. There's on-the-fly switching. Dynamic up to 25 PSI. Wonder if that switches with the drive modes. Backup factory data, yep. It's gonna go through this process. Don't worry about your dash lights. They're gonna play a game for a bit. Now we wait. 100%. Accessport generates vehicle data. Oh, we got another one. Tune file at 98%, 99, 100%. Takes a couple minutes. Please wait while the Accessport resets. ECU learning. Fuel trims are going to be reset. We'll drive around for a bit, a little slow. Let the car learn itself, and we'll see how it feels. If it takes a little longer than normal to start up after you flash, totally normal. Idle was a little bit all over the place. That's also normal. The car is relearning how to run. It's using the computer to make adjustments right now. I pulled up the actual AFR, air to fuel ratio. You can see it up close now. Now my idle is smooth. It's hanging around 14.7. There's a lot of options of what to monitor on your Accessport. We'll follow up with a video down the road of what you can watch if you want to have your Accessport in the car. If something's seriously wrong, it will let me know, and I'm not worried because this is not an aggressive tune, so I'm actually just gonna not look at it. In general, no reason to have extra stress. In my car, I'm running a Mountune shift knob. It's more lightweight, it has a good feel, a good shape, and it's a nice upgrade that feels OEM plus in this car. If you're looking for a shift knob upgrade, I have it linked in the description. There's a couple different colors. While I'm feeling this out, letting the car relearn the fuel trims and smoothing things out, I want to talk to you about drivability. Drivability is just how the car drives. We have the fast tune dyno pull, so it's fast down the quarter mile, full throttle, it's fast. Then we got the fast tune dyno pull with good drivability. Now let's break these down, okay? So disregard the shape of the power band in general, because every car is different, every setup's different, every modification will affect it, yada, 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 yada. But let's focus on what matters here. So if you notice, start the pull, it goes up, it's a little shaky, up, down, up, down, up, down, straight. Oh, it's kind of smooth, dips a little bit, maybe that's the way the car's set up, maybe that's a tune. Then it's smooth, and then at the very end, you got a big old turbo on your freaking Supra, and it just whap all the way to the top of the power band, and then you let off the throttle, and the chart line drops down. Now, you come down here to the fast tune dyno pull with good drivability, it comes up, it starts to pull smooth. Whoop, bunch of power, ooh, falls off. Now, this part right here, that is in the part where you spend most of your time. When this is shaky, that's your car literally feeling like woo, 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 like in the most minute ways sometimes. So what you can do is, if this was an iPad, I would pinch and zoom. Come zoom in with me. The tuner can zoom way in like an iPad, right? And it's got these little waves. okay? They can work on that with time and energy, and you pay a good tuner will go in there and flatten that out or make it at least a smooth line, right? And then that's where all your drivability comes from. So after looking at these two charts, there are spots depending on fuel, area, this and that. There's always room for improvement for drivability from factory. And that could be in ways of bringing on torque earlier, bringing on torque later. Maybe there's a little bit of a stumble in the factory tune when you're on 91 versus 93. There's so many variables, and that's what you pay for with something like this. And it's a good value going with the Mountune calibration strictly for drivability. Your fuel trims will level out and everything will find its happy place after about 30 to 40 miles usually. And when you pay for a tuner or a tune or a tuner's time, those tedious parts, if you're ever questioning why one is more expensive than the other, maybe they care more about those details. Maybe you should ask them about, hey, how much time do you spend on drivability? Is it a big deal to you? Keep that in mind. Mountune just being a purist on the EcoBoost platform, that's what this whole thing and this whole tune is about. And of course, to make it faster. I mentioned that drivability is important, so I made a chart for you, a graph about drivability importance, okay? We have this axis, which is the throttle position, 0 to 100%, and your time. Now, if you notice something, the 90 to 100% mark of 90% throttle to 100% throttle, it's only that much, but your time is this whole thing. So you're spending a majority of your time in the bottom to about 80% throttle. That's the majority. But when you get a tune, only think about this or only talk about this. So since you're only thinking and only talking about the 90 to 100% mark of throttle, but the majority of your time is spent 0 to 80, would you rather have a tuner or a tune on your car that only cares about that? No, you don't want that. First gear. Oh, it's got some juice on the top end. Oh, it's waking up. It's throwing traction lights. Okay, let me put it in sport mode. Let's see if Edward emailed me back from Mountune. Yep, he's the one who helps you with your tune. Drive modes are the same as factory, but slots are changed with the cruise control buttons. I included instructions below for your reference how to use slots. While the vehicle is running at a stop, press the cancel button on your cruise control panel. Then follow up by pressing plus or minus. Whoa, it makes sounds. So you hit the cancel button and then you hit. I've never been in a car that'll use the speakers to tell you which one. Here's all 4 slots explained and written out so that you won't forget. 1, high performance. This is what you paid for. 2, high performance plus launch control plus flat foot shifting. Now you don't have to go through the menus to select launch control. Me likey. 3, low boost. Maybe you want to save some money on some gas and keep your lead foot out of it, but you don't have self-control to keep your foot out of it. So you put it on 3. Or you're just letting your friend drive when you're not around. 4, high performance with less spark, aka panic mode / bad fuel. Now, would you use said 4? For me, the first thing that comes to mind, and I'd like for you guys to elaborate in the comments more if you have more opinions on it, but if you're watching on your Accessport or you feel like your car is driving a little funny and you pull up your Accessport and it says that your octane adjustment learned is not a -1 and it's closer to 0, and you know you have a problem because of fuel quality, if you know, you know. We'll dive more into that later, don't worry. We'll get educated. We're getting into the RS stuff, don't worry. If that might be a possibility and you don't want to hurt your car but you still need to move around and drive it normal, this is a nice option to have because you're just running less timing. The motor's running less hot. You're not pushing the limits when it comes to timing, which if you don't know how timing works in an engine, and I'll even put a link in the description to a video that explains how timing works, positive and negative, it's super valuable to know. Pop's a little different. The torque comes on heavy. All right, second gear. Wow, the power band is beefy now. Instead of it going like, whoa, and you're like, okay, it's kind of putting you back in my seat, it's just like, whoa, whoa, and you're like, whoa. You can't really see that, you just gotta feel it. The only initial reaction I have is that it feels smooth, but it really wakes up and has that much more boost pressure. You can feel it, the torque is there, and it just sets you back in your seat farther. And I think this thing's starting to wake up. Just got back to my house. Let's see if it revs out any different. It's a little bit more aggressive. One of those days where I woke up super early because I went to bed really early, went out for a drive. About 50 miles in, I've compiled my thoughts of the overall feel that you can expect after you get this calibration. Once the car finds its happy place, after about 30 to 40 miles, the power band is really smooth and it's really meaty. The torque comes on earlier and it just sets you back in your seat that much more. It feels like what you can imagine losing 10 pounds feels like. Lighter on your feet, more agile. You even kind of shock yourself sometimes, and it's a nice adjustment that you will feel. You will feel better. At one point, the car hit about 26 pounds of boost pressure. Factory's around 23, give or take, depending on your conditions. So yeah, you can feel that. But this morning, did a 0 to 60 after driving it for a while to see what the final results are. Is it faster and how much faster? On slot number 2, this is what we're able to get versus the stock time. Remember, this is available for the Fiesta and Focus platforms as well as a Raptor. I have links in the description for everything I spoke about in this episode. I hope that you want to check out KarmaSpeed.com after watching this video. We're all about building confidence in the garage and building out a sport compact website that's there to nurture that community and give you everything you need to have confidence in what you're doing and what you're buying and the process you're embarking on. If you have any one of those platforms I spoke to earlier, I have an oil change video right here. We had way too much fun filming. We made an oil change interesting, I promise. And then you'll get a good idea of some kits in the description of that video for your car that comes with a filter, my favorite high quality oil. Hope to see you over there and maybe get some ideas on how to take care of your car and do a little simple maintenance at home. Save some money and put some nice product in it.